Hey everyone, a massive welcome to all of Mr. Chee's students and followers. Today we're basically becoming detectives. And the case? Oh, just one of the biggest mysteries of all time. Where did we actually come from? So, grab your detective hats because we are about to crack this thing wide open.
All right, so to kick things off, let's start with a really big, fundamental question. Just for a second, forget about your personality, your culture, where you live. What is it at a core biological level that makes you human? What connects you to every other person on this planet? The answer? Well, that's our first major clue. There it is, 99.9%. That is how much DNA you share with every single other person on Earth. It's kind of wild, right? All the incredible diversity we see in humanity, all our differences, it all fits into that tiny 0.1%. This shared blueprint, this is our starting point. Okay, but get this. It gets even more fascinating when you look at our closest living animal relative. That number, 98.8%, that's how much DNA you share with the chimpanzee. Let that sink in for a second. A little over a 1% difference is all that separates us genetically. Now that is a huge clue that points us way, way back in time.
So, you see, this DNA evidence, it's more than just a clue. It's what detectives would call the smoking gun. DNA doesn't lie. It's like this perfect, unchangeable biological fingerprint that lets us trace our family tree back through thousands and thousands of years, revealing connections we never would have known existed.
And look, these numbers aren't just for trivia night. Our incredible genetic similarity to each other, and how surprisingly close we are to chimpanzees, it all points to one undeniable scientific conclusion. Now, this is important. We did not evolve from chimpanzees, but we do share a common ape-like ancestor that lived somewhere around 5 to 6 million years ago. We're like evolutionary cousins.
So you might be wondering, how on earth can scientists get so specific with dates like 5 million years ago? Well, they've got a secret weapon, and it's called mitochondrial DNA, or mTND. This stuff is special. It's passed down only from a mother to her children, almost perfectly preserved. It collects these tiny, predictable changes over vast stretches of time, which means scientists can use it like a molecular clock, literally winding it backward to see when different branches of our family tree split off. It's amazing. Okay, so we've got the DNA evidence pretty much locked down. But what's next? Well, any good detective knows you have to check out the physical evidence, the clues left at the scene. For our ancient ancestors, that means looking at the very first things they made that set them apart from every other creature, their tools. Now, we've got to make a really important distinction here. Plenty of animals use tools, right? A chimp uses a stick to get termites, an otter uses a rock to open a shell. But what our ancestors in the genus Homo started doing, that was something else entirely. They began manufacturing tools. They take a random rock and intentionally chip away at it to create a new, sharper, more useful object. That was a game changer. It was a huge leap in thinking.
And you can literally see that leap in thinking right here. This timeline tells an incredible story. We start 2.6 million years ago with these super simple old wand stone choppers. Then, almost a million years later, boom, we get the hand axe. It's more complex, it's symmetrical, it shows planning. Fast forward again, and you get these refined, super sharp flakes. And finally, you get complex tools like spears, with different parts combined into one. You're not just looking at rocks here, you're watching the evolution of the human mind itself.
We've got the DNA. We've got the tools. Now it's time for our final and maybe most powerful line of evidence, the eyewitness accounts. No, they didn't write anything down. Their stories are told by their very own fossilized bones, preserved in stone.
So our investigation takes us to South Africa, to a place that is perfectly named the cradle of humankind. I mean, come on. This place is a treasure trove. Nearly 40% of all the hominin fossils ever found come from here. We're talking about icons like Mrs. Pless and Littlefoot, these incredible skeletons that give us a real glimpse into what our ancient relatives actually look like.
And the trail doesn't stop there. It continues north into East Africa's Great Rift Valley. This is where we meet superstars like Lucy, the famous fossil that proved our ancestors were walking on two legs millions of years ago. We also have Turkana Boy, the most complete early human skeleton ever found. Each one of these fossils, you guys, is like finding another page in our ancient family photo album.
Okay, let's take a breath and review the case. We have the DNA fingerprint, we have the tools left at the scene. And we have the eyewitness accounts from the fossils. We've gathered all the evidence. So now it's time to put it all together and ask, what's the one story that all of these clues point to?
It's called the Out of Africa hypothesis. And in the world of science, this is the single unifying theory that makes all the pieces of the puzzle fit together perfectly. The idea is actually pretty straightforward. Our species, Homo sapiens, first evolved on the continent of Africa. And from that starting point, we eventually spread out to populate the entire globe. Let's see how the proof stacks up.
First up, let's circle back to the genetics. Remember that molecular clock, MTD? Well, scientists found that modern African populations have way more genetic diversity than populations anywhere else in the world. And more diversity means they're older. They've simply had more time to build up those little genetic changes. In fact, the DNA of every single non-African person can be traced back to one small group that walked out of Africa about 60 or 70,000 years ago.
So what about the fossils? Do they tell the same story? Oh, you bet they do. It's an exact match. The oldest, most ancient members of our extended family, the Australopithecines, found only in Africa. The very first toolmakers, Homo habilis, only in Africa. And the big one, the oldest fossils of our own species, Homo sapiens, you see the pattern here? Only in Africa. The evidence is just overwhelming.
So what does this all boil down to? It means that after millions of years evolving on just one continent, a small group of our direct ancestors started an epic journey. They walked out of Africa, and over thousands and thousands of years, they spread across Asia, into Europe, across the seas to Australia, and finally into the Americas. Every single person alive today, no matter where your family is from now, is a descendant of that incredible migration.
And with that, case closed. We followed the clues from DNA to tools to bones, and we've solved the mystery of our shared human origin. But solving this case leaves us with an even bigger, more profound question to think about. If all this science proves that we're all just one big extended family that started in the same place, what does that mean for how we see each other today? To keep digging into huge questions just like this one, make sure you're following Mr. Chi on TikTok and YouTube. Thanks for putting on your detective hats with us today.